comes to goals, 3 he has for the under-21s in just 2 appearances for Sweden. Well, this is the first of a double-header for the Scotland under-20 side in Pinatar. They've been out here since Monday, training away. Their first meet-up of 2023. Sweden it is in this game, and it will be Wales at midday on Sunday. But of course, this is the main attraction for tonight. Kieran Bowie standing over the ball, and we will be ready to go for this friendly match between Scotland's under-21s and Sweden's under-21s. Crowd here as well, sitting in the sun, ready to watch what should be, Rory, an entertaining game of football.
Yes, it should, absolutely. It's very picturesque, I must say that, but Scotland will need to get that out of their systems. I know it's been warm weather, they've been out there since Monday. However, with the qualifiers just not too long away, they'll be keen to make a good impression, and there'll be a lot of eyes on these types of games, scouts from all over the world watching, so they'll be keen to make an impression.
Well, Sweden with some early possession, just calmly trying to pass out from the back. Tornqvist playing in goal for the Swedish side. Ball goes long, it's Jeremiah Mullen who wins it, and Diri Mabudi, he likes a trick or two, looking to make an instant impact on his Scotland under-21 debut. Mullen. Back to Kieran Slicker, between the sticks for Scotland. And Doig back to Liam Morrison, the Bayern Munich centre-back. Doig. Does like a driving run from left-back Doig. Finds Fiorini, who maybe felt he was fouled, but Scotland allowed to play on.
Just doing our preparation for the game, Andrew, it looks like potentially they're going to set up with very similar formations with a 4-3-3. So if it is man for man, Scotland will need to get a grip of the battle first, and then hopefully they can get the ball down and play.
Morrison wins the header. That's out to Mabudi. He has the overlapping run of Max Johnson if he wants it. Ben Summers wins the ball back. Mabudi. It's given away in the end there. It will be a free kick. Kieran Bowie with the foul. And Sweden will have a chance to reset. Some early pressure from Scotland.
Yes, indeed. It's interesting because you've already mentioned Josh Doig and his driving runs forward. Max Johnson is no different on the other side. However, Adiri Mabudi and Ben Summers not so much, but Mabudi likes to hug the touchline. But I do think Scotland's 2 fullbacks will be looking for them to come in the pitch to create the space, because they're very, very strong in the fullback area, Scotland.
Noah Isla for Sweden. That's Mikael Lado. A nice turn by Lado, who's looking to be positive. Scotland win it back.
Good pressure from Doig there.
Slicker just assessing his options. Decides to go long, but there's too much on it for Diri Mabudi, who just puts a hand up in appreciation of the idea of Kieran Slicker. Bangsbo for his defensive partner Noah Isla. Kasper Nielsen, Brighton right back. Persson looking to take the ball past Diri Mabudi. He does well, but it's a good recovery in the end from Diri Mabudi. Just wasn't able to hold on to it on that left side. It's a chance here with Mikael Lado. Will he deliver? He goes all the way back. It's clipped in by Larsson. It's going to have to be recovered by Noah Persson. Rosengren. It was Ben Summers that was back doing some defensive work, and Scotland get away with a goal kick.
Yeah, they're very, very aggressive with their press to start with Scotland. Scott Gemmell's obviously worked on it. I'm sure Daniel Backstrom, the Swedish manager as well, we worked on a few things during the week. When you've got a brand new team together or a brand new generation coming through, you know, you get on the pitch and you try and work through patterns of play, and I must say that the surface is an absolute bowling green, so hopefully we see some of those passages of play coming to fruition tonight.
That was a really good ball out by Slicker to find Doig. It's now Lewis Fiorini. Great feet by Fiorini to find a bit of space. He's looking for Mabudi, but Hayden Hackney will win it back for Scotland. Johnston. Mabudi now. What can he create? Kieran Boy, he got the touch. His back was facing goal, just wasn't able to get it under control, and it will be gathered up by Noel Tornqvist.
Yeah, Sebastian Nanasai, the winger for Sweden, switches off there, and Mabudi runs in behind him. Doesn't quite manage to pick out a teammate, but good move from Scotland.
And it's won back quickly again by Scotland. Fiorini to Summers, who's pulled back there. It will be a free kick for Scotland in a dangerous area. I think Scott Gemmell will be happy with the speed that his players have started at.
Yes, I've already mentioned the press, and that was exactly the same there. Lewis Fiorini switched on. We see him here after he's won the ball back, playing the ball in, and Summers is fouled there. He's pulled back quite cynically. Just a friendly, so you wouldn't expect too many yellow cards today. But yeah, they've made a good start, Scotland. They really have. The one time the press hasn't worked, Sweden get in behind. However, for me, they've started the brighter of the two sides.
Lewis Fiorini lining this one up, playing his football at Blackpool on loan from Manchester City. Goes for goal, Fiorini, but it is easily gathered by Tornqvist. An early sighter for Fiorini. But once again, Scotland won't be keen for Sweden to play this out from the back. Just wait for the right moment to put the pressure on.
Well, Hackney's the one that has been deepest so far. Connor Barron is at the moment, but when I say deep, they're so high up the pitch. They've almost got 4 or 5 pressing the ball on the edge of the Swedish penalty box, so it's going to plan so far, but it's still early days.
Larson. It's well cut out by Hayden Hackney, who's really impressed at Middlesbrough so far this season in the English Championship. 29 appearances for them in all competitions.
That's impressive in such a competitive league. Michael Carrick's went in and done really, really well there, so Hayden Hackney must be performing to a very high level.
Yeah, not a bad player to learn from as a young midfielder, Michael Carrick.
No, definitely not. Obviously I don't know much about him, but in the clips you've seen he's got quite a lot of publicity. He seems quite laid back, Michael Carrick, and obviously he's getting his message across to his players.
Well, a chance for Sweden to really get up the park here. Nanasi goes for goal, Nanasi, and you could see what he was going for, trying to curl that one low to the far post, but Kieran Slicker looked as if he knew it was going wide.
Yeah, I don't know how sure you could be from that particular angle, but Nanasi, like I said, he switched off defensively, but he was very switched on there in an offensive way. Cuts inside, and I wasn't sure myself if that was sneaking into the bottom corner. Slicker was a lot more casual than I thought he would be, given how close it was.
Morrison wins the header, but will be a throw into Scotland. Mikael Lado just unable to keep that one in play. The AZ Alkmaar winger. Will be Josh Doig to take the throw in. We're talking about the experience of Hayden Hackney and his appearances in the English Championship. 19 Serie A games for Josh Doig this season, who's done fantastically well since moving to Italy. He's had a call up to the Scotland senior side as well. Hasn't played for Steve Clarke's side yet. Fiorini. Mabudi. Quick feet of Dire Mabudi into the box, unleashes a shot, and that is wonderful from Dire Mabudi. We've seen him do it at under 19 level for Scotland. He's made the step up. It's his first under 21 appearance, and he's done it again.
Oh, I tell you what, Andrew, that is a goal of the highest quality. Fiorini absolutely thunders it into him. His first touch, he kills the ball dead. A little bit of trickery. He swivels. He knows exactly where the goals are. He shoots. He finds the side netting, and it's a goal. to a match. A fantastic start from Scotland. Skips to one side, boom, unleashes a shot. Keeper no chance. Fantastic goal.
And that's it, just 18 years old, Dire Mabudi. There is a lot of young players in this under-21 side that are maybe playing an age or two above where they normally would be. Dire Mabudi is one of those, impressed at under-19 level for Scotland in the last couple of international breaks. He's been called upon by Scott Gemmell for this game and for the game on Sunday, and you can see exactly why.
Yeah, you can. I mean, that was fantastic to watch, I must say. I did say I thought he might come in the pitch with Max Johnson wanting to get up and down the wing. He finds himself in the middle of the goals almost. That first touch, the awareness of where the defenders are, and then to be able to execute the piece of skill and find the back of the net. Fantastic goal.
Plays his football for Manchester City, Dire Mabudi. Moved there in 2020 after coming through the ranks at Rangers. And has been a real key player for their youth sides in the last couple of seasons as well. Nanasi. Fancies one himself, or is he going to pass it? That's just overhit towards Lado, and it's Fiorini who's back to win it back for Scotland. Lado to Nielsen. Johan Bangsbot. That's good feet by Hugo Larsson in midfield to hold on to it, and it's a crossing position for Noah Persson. Kieran Slicker does well to get off his line quickly and make sure there's no danger in that Scotland box.
Yeah, as the game's settling down now, you can actually see that Ben Summers is almost playing just off Kieran Bowie. Lewis Farini's pulling out to the left-hand side. You've got your middle two of Barron and Hackney in the centre, pulling the strings.
Well, here is Ben Summers. Mabudi to Hackney. Gets it back from Connor Barron. Fiorini back to Liam Morrison. Hackney, good ball into Mabudi, who has space. Will he go for it again? Will he pick the pass? Summers goes for goal himself, Ben Summers, and he wasn't far away at all.
No, he was not, and that initial pass had to be right or it was going to get cut out. Mabudi picks it up again a wonderful first touch. He finds his teammate Summers, who can't quite replicate Mabudi's finish, but still again more positive signs for Scotland.
Yeah, Ben Summers, another one of the 18-year-olds in this Scotland squad as well. He's caught the eye of Ange Postecoglou as well at Celtic because he was on the bench for their game against against Hibs, on Saturday. Rosengren. Nanasi forward to Persson. And Jeremiah Mullen, I think, just slipped there initially and ended up giving away a foul.
Let's have a wee look. Yeah, I think it is a foul. There is contact there. Maybe a little bit too keen to win the ball, Mullen. I think the referee gets that one right.
Well, not yet really been tested defensively, the Scotland side so far, but they'll be really happy with what they've been doing in the attacking third. A bit of defending to do here, though. Rosengren will be the one to take. And it's headed to the back post, and that one goes under the body of Kieran Slicker, and it is an equaliser for Sweden, and it's Noah Eila, the centre-back, who's got it. Kieran Slicker unable to keep it out. It was the header across goal that caused confusion in the Scotland defence, and Sweden back level.
Yeah, that's a disappointment. I mean, ideally you would like to win the first contact in the box. That's always the aim, but if you can't win the first one, you need to be switched on with the men you're marking and the runners, and it's just a little moment. A lapse in concentration, possibly from Hackney. and he just sneaks in behind Islet, and it goes under Slicker, which is a shame because Scotland have started so well, deservedly in front. But Scott Gemmell will be a little bit disappointed by conceding that goal and the way it was conceded.
Yeah, I think it was actually Hugo Larsson that was stealing in at the back post there, got the final touch on it. An experienced player, despite the fact he's only 18, played 5 of 6 Europa League group games this season for Malmo.
But that's why these games are important, Andrew, because you can look at these things, you can analyse them, talk the players through their position, so when it does come to the competitive stuff, these mistakes don't happen. So whilst it's a disappointment, it's something Scott Gemmell can reflect on during the week and talk his team through.
A nice turn there by Rosengren. Was looking for the foul initially. Scotland do win it back. Hackney. Well, they go for goal. Hayden Hackney. He'll win a corner. And once again, straight from the off, Scotland positive again.
Yeah, I was expecting the referee's whistle to blow, I have to say. It looked like a foul. However, credit to Hackney. He doesn't stop. He pops a little 1-2, creates the space. And the shot's blocked and Scotland get a corner. How good Scotland have been will be the main frustration for Scott Gemmell. Conceding that goal.
Well, quickly taken. Fiorini. Josh Doig is claiming for a handball. He's not going to get it.
Josh Doig's reaction certainly would point you towards the fact it possibly did strike the arm. It's just whether it was intentional.
Scotland won't let that distract them. Mabudi trying to dance his way into the Sweden box once again. And wins it back and wins a free kick as well. And he is tireless, isn't he, Diri Mabudi? We've watched him before at under-19 level. He just loves getting on the ball, causing problems, running at defenders.
Yeah, and he's high in confidence, obviously. I didn't think that was a free kick initially, but the referee is absolutely right. No, a person catches him, and I think that is a free kick to Scotland in a dangerous position, and they'll be hoping to do to Sweden what Sweden did to them just a few minutes ago.
Could be the right foot of Lewis Fiorini or the left of Diri Mabudi.
Hackney's in a lot of space.
Well, it is Hayden Hackney. It's blocked and finally cleared by Sweden. Connor Barron gets it under control. He's just out-muscled there by Aymar Sher. Sweden won't be able to cause any danger on the counter-attack. It's Fiorini. Gets on it, looks for the clipped ball over the top towards Kieran Bowie, who looked as if he had his shirt pulled there, Kieran Bowie. And he let the referee know about it, but play will go on.
It's really good striker play from Kieran Bowie, because what he does before the ball arrives, he just gets his backside into the defender, creates a bit of space, and you can clearly see the defender's pulling the shirt off him. He's keen to let this game go, the referee, but that's a free kick in my book.
Yeah, he was certainly unlucky there, the Fulham striker, who's on loan at Northampton Town at the moment. Sweden just taking a bit of the sting out of the game at the moment. And losing out as Max Johnson goes back to Kieran Slicker. Slicker finds Fiorini, who tries to help it on. Go out for a Sweden throw. Well, I mentioned it earlier on, Rory, this is a Sweden side that's full of quality. They had a couple of friendlies, the senior side had a couple of friendlies in January where 4 of these players that are in the starting lineup made their senior debuts. A few more that are on the bench today as well have made their senior debuts, so certainly a high quality of opposition that Scotland are up against today.
Yes, it is, and Scotland have more than matched them after about 19-20 minutes or so. Unfortunately, Sweden didn't have to work too hard or use too much of their quality for the goal. However, like I said, when you've got a new group, you've already mentioned the different clubs that they're at up and down the country. It takes a little bit of time to settle in and get these things right, and that's what Scott Gemmell will be looking to do.
Aymar Sher with the shot there, that one off target. Aymar Sher actually named after former Argentinian midfielder Pablo Aimar.
No pressure then, Andrew, because he was some player, I remember, back in the day.
Morrison to Jeremiah Mullen, the lead central defender, making his first under-21 appearance. Doig. Up the channel towards Kieran Bowie, who forces Isla just to put that one out of play.
Good, strong, intelligent running from Bowie.
Wasn't initially in this squad, Kieran Bowie, but managed to shake off an injury, and after some call-offs to the original squad, has worked his way into it. 3 of those call-offs. Ben Doak, who was removed as a precaution as he goes through concussion protocol following a collision in a UEFA Youth League game for Liverpool's under-19s. Defenders Leon King, who's at Rangers, he's got a thigh issue, and Connor McAvoy, who was on loan at Partick Thistles, had to return actually to Fulham. His loan spell cut short with an injury, but it's given the chance for other players to come in. Kieran Bowie, who comes straight into the starting lineup. Lewis Nielsen and Josh Adam as well, also called up.
Yeah, he impressed us for the under-19s, the games we covered last year, Andrew. Josh Adam, very good.
Persson whips it in towards Farage, and Liam Morrison did well. He was brave putting his head in there, just making sure that Farage couldn't get a shot away.
Well, Farage is making the point. He's leaning into it. You know, I think he's got a point, to be fair. I don't think his foot's all that high. But there you go. He gives the foul, the referee. And you mentioned, you know, the calibre that they're playing against when they're facing Sweden. However, you know, they'll return to Spain on the 11th of September to open their qualification campaign. So, whilst they'll play against Sweden and Wales in the next few days, it's all geared up to that one. So Scott Gemmell potentially will be looking set-up-wise how he'll start that match. And it's interesting as well because, you know, they're playing a 4-4-2 almost, but when they're out of possession and the press is beat, it becomes a 4-5-1. And you just wonder if that is with one eye on that opening game against Spain, because they will need to work on these things over the next couple of games.
Yeah, some big qualifiers coming up for this under-21 side later in the year. This good preparation for Scott Gemmell to test out some things. Max Johnson to Mullen. Morrison. Here's Josh Doig. Liam Morrison, who signed a new deal at Bayern Munich recently until the summer of 2025, so it is a show of faith by the German Giants in Liam Morrison's ability. Tornqvist to Bangsbo. Scotland just not allowing Sweden to play out at all. Tornqvist short on options. Rosengren. Tries for the quick ball in behind towards Farage, and it's calmly headed back by Liam Morrison for Kieran Slicker to gather.
Yeah, their starting positions are really good, you must say, when we've already spoke about it, how high up the pitch they're looking to press and win the ball back. But even when it does break the lines or get through, there's somebody in a Scotland shirt there to sweep up.
Ben Summers trying to cause some issues for Sweden, but Hugo Larsson manages to come away with the ball. Persson to Nanazi. Nanazi goes for the ball over the top towards Persson, who was making the run, just had too much on it.
Yeah, he's a quick lad, Max Johnson. That would take something pretty special to beat him on a one-on-one race, and he showed it there. Got back no problem at all. Good reading of the game as well.
Well, Larson held on to it in a tight area. Farage got the shot away in the end, that one curling just over. Looking for his fourth goal at under 21 level, just his third game. Omar Farage, who plays his football for AIK in his homeland.
Yeah, it was a snapshot, wasn't it? He was looking for that far corner, trying to whip it and bend it with a bit of pace, but gets too much on it.
The pressure was put on Morrison there. He's just asking where his options are. Marshall gives it away to Fiorini, but it's back in possession of Sweden.
Connor Barron's so tenacious. As soon as that midfield player of Sweden, Marshall, takes his touch, he's right on top of him.
16 appearances for Aberdeen this season, Connor Barron, which is impressive, especially given the fact he's had a couple of injuries on top of that as well. Lado. There's space to drive into. Mikel Lado. Maybe the less said about the shot, the better.
Yeah, it was probably the wrong choice. Nilsson, his right full-back, was galloping up the wing. Should have been played the ball. Takes the shot, but never ever going to trouble Slicker.
Yes, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Doig finds Fiorini with the header. It's a really smart move by Scotland so far. Mabudi. Summers. Does well to hold on to it, Ben Summers, and get the ball across. And he was unlucky not to find anyone in there. The odds looked against him for finding a ball across the face of goal, but he did well to adjust his feet, Ben Summers.
Yeah, it was a really good move from Scotland. Mabudi comes in the pitch, Max Johnson up the outside. He finds his winger, who does really, really well. Unfortunately for Scotland, nobody on the end of it.
Summers to Johnson on the overlap. It is gathered by Tornqvist. You can see the influence these fullbacks have on this Scotland side. Max Johnson, Josh Doig, the two of them really keen to get forward, keen to get balls into the box, make those driving runs.
Fiorini will naturally come in the pitch. He's a good technician, very good, intelligent football player. Mabudi's more of a trickster, lights up the place when he gets the ball. He'll want to naturally stay wide, but they've all been very good so far.
Lado back to Hugo Larsson, finds Noah Persson. Rosengren clips it in towards Farage, but there's Kieran Slicker off his line again. Lado well defended by Doig. It's lovely by Lewis Fiorini just to hold off his man on the turn. Great feet again, but this time just too many yellow shirts around him.
He was very good in the last campaign, Fiorini.
Hasn't played as much football this season as he maybe would have liked. He's had a loan spell at Blackpool, had a good start there, but a groin injury has hampered his season a wee bit. He'll be looking to get back to top form. Showing good signs so far in this game. He's had a couple of previous good loan spells at NAC Breda in the Netherlands and then at Lincoln City after that. Hugo Larsson makes his way out to Persson. And the delivery once again into the hands of Kieran Slicker.
Just starting to get a little bit more of the ball in the middle to final third Sweden than they were. Scotland started so quickly, it's hard to maintain that pace and tempo.
Doig. It's held up well by Kieran Bowie. He does fantastically well to bring Conor Barron into play, who skips away from Rosengren. Goes for goal, and that one just wide of the mark. For a second you thought it was maybe going to trouble Noel Törnqvist in the Sweden goal.
Yeah, do you know what I loved about that, Andrew? He arguably could have played it out wide to get across into the box, but the amount of dark blue shirts streaming forward, desperate to get on the end of it. If it does go wide, you've got Farini, Mebude and a few others looking to get on the end of that. And it was a fantastic striker play as well, initially by Kieran Bowie to hold the ball up and pass it into Conor Barron.
Well, he does have a goal this season. Conor Barron scored the opening goal for Aberdeen at Ibrox in a 4-1 defeat to Rangers earlier this campaign. Aymar Cher. And once again, Sweden just happy to slow things down, assess their options. Persson. Rosengren back to Bangsbo. You can see there are certain areas where Scotland are quite happy for Sweden just to have the ball.
Yeah, and Sweden are getting very frustrated. Cher's actually dropping in now, almost in front of the back line as they give it away again.
Persson. Then as he switches the play over to Kasper Nielsen. Lado under pressure from Hayden Hackney, just having to go all the way back to his defence.
We're doing so well, Scotland, to stop Cher, Larsson and Rosengren getting on the ball.
Well, here is Larsson to Nielsen. That's well dealt with by Liam Morrison.
Yeah, commentators curse a little bit as soon as I said it. They finally managed to break the line and get in behind.
Kasper Nielsen, who's been impressing in the youth system at Brighton, signed a long-term deal in January until 2025.
Good place to be at the moment, Brighton. Are flying high, playing some really attractive football, so I can imagine Nielsen will be learning a lot whilst he's there. That's Cher, that's just frustration, coming so deep because he can't get a kick of the ball in midfield. Scotland to try and get a little bit further up the pitch. They've dropped a lot deeper than they previously were.
And that one over the head of Noah Persson from Isla. Bowie, you can see the strength that he's got. Kieran Bowie, he's quite likes the battle up front, holding off defenders.
Yeah, he does, and more often than not he's made the right decision in this game so far. As a young striker coming through, if you're playing up top, I know he's got Summers up there with him, but essentially he's the focal point. When to take one touch, when to take two touches and bring your teammates into play. It takes a little while to master the art of it. But he started this game well.
Persson has a couple of options at the box, finds Rosengren. But once again, the pressure from Scotland just forces Sweden all the way back. Hugo Larsson. Josh Doig. Quick onto the touch of Kasper Nielsen there. Kieran Bowie making the run ahead of him. Ben Summers in support as well. Josh Doig may fancy going all the way. Just dispossessed as he was getting into the box there, Josh Doig.
That's fantastic anticipation from Doig. He knows the switch of play's coming. He knows the ball needs to travel a good 50-60 yards in the air, and he's right on top of the winger's touch. Manages to steal it and drive forward. Unfortunately, some of his teammates couldn't keep up with him.
Well, Doig will be looking to impress Steve Clark again. He already has. Back in September as part of the senior setup, he got his first call up.
It's great to see so many young players from Scotland going over to Italy and doing so well.
Yeah, good feature from the Scottish FA this week on 4 of the Italian-based players from Scotland national sides who are making their mark over in Italy. Josh Doig, one of those at Hellas Verona.
Well, stand up and make other nations take notice as well, that you can cherry pick some really, really good talent from the Scottish League.
Lewis Ferguson in the senior squad, of course, playing his football at Bologna. There's Lana Cleland and Christy Grimshaw over there from the women's national setup as well. Hayden Hackney releases Mabudi, and it will be a corner to Scotland.
Hackney's been impressive, I must say. His anticipation, his game knowledge of where the next pass is going to go, timing his runs. He plays in Mabudi there after initially winning the ball back and being involved in the earlier play. Scotland get a corner.
Hackney back to Mabudi. Hackney's ball in, it's just too high. Will go out for a Sweden goal kick, but Scotland always trying something different with these set pieces.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've touched on it already, the quality of opposition in their group this year. You know, I covered Belgium and Scotland last year. Belgium were incredible, and they're in their group again. And you need to get small wins against these sides. And if you do get corners and set pieces, you need to make the most of them. So Scott Gemmell's obviously playing about with some different routines that he thinks could work against these big sides. You'd like to think when they come up against the others, Kazakhstan and the likes, that their quality and general play would manage to shine through it.
Yeah, well, there has been plenty of moments of quality from this Scotland side so far. One of those was when Dire Mabudi opened the scoring. A searching ball towards Farage, but there's Kieran Slicker once again. Good anticipation from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, they've been really impressive, Scotland. You know, Sweden finally waving the white flag there and saying, you know what, we're going to kick it long. That didn't work for them either.
Well, what do you think will have pleased Scott Gemmell most from this opening 38.5 minutes?
I think the hunger and the appetite the players have shown to go and carry out what they've clearly worked on. Like I said, it started out with the press high up the pitch, and then the quality when they've had the ball at times has been very, very good as well. And I think that bedding new players into this squad at this level, that's not easy to do.
Fiorini to Doig. Does well to get the ball into the box there, Josh Doig. There was just no one attacking it. Mabudi. Johnston. Hackney. Bowie tries the flick. It will land in the arms of Noel Tornquist.
An incredible ball in from Doig in that position, and it sums it up again. Like I said, the hunger and the appetite that I've just spoken about, that Max Johnson's actually picking it up at the other side from, it was Mabudi initially, but Max Johnson's there, then Max Johnson crosses it in, and you've got Josh Doig on the penalty spot. Players desperate to burst a gut and go and try and impact the game.
4 assists in Serie A this season for Josh Doig, which is some feat. Look at how tough that league is. Some of the players will be coming up against. A couple of goals as well to add into that. Farage trying that run in behind, but Liam Morrison doing his job well at the back.
Yeah, it seems to be changed days with fullbacks and things. Back when I played, it was about defending and feeding your wide man, but you know, figures and stats and numbers, as they say these days, Andrew, is important as a fullback, believe it or not. So to have assists and goals in one of Europe's top leagues is mighty impressive.
Nielsen trying to get an assist of his own from fullback, but Scotland come out of that situation well, and it could get even better as Diri Mabudi picks up the ball and looks to take on Noah Persson. Great feet and skill by Mabudi, cuts it back towards Ben Summers, but it was good tracking back by Sebastian Nanazi. And then good hold-up play as well by Farage. Nanazi. Connor Barron does well just to nick it away from the Sweden striker.
That's exactly what you're looking for from your screening midfielder. As soon as the centre back gets in and around the striker, you're picking up the second if it's a poor touch.
Fiorini towards Max Johnson. Max Johnson, who may well be looking to keep his 100% goal record for the under-21s going. We talked about statistics and fullbacks there. He's made 1 under-21 appearance, Max Johnson. He's got 1 goal for them in a friendly against Iceland in November.
Yeah, I covered that game, I watched it, and he was very good that night. Himself and Ben Doak down that right-hand side were a real danger. Ben Doak, magnificent talent. Really excited to see how his career progresses at this level. However, you have to say that Mabudi has took his chance and his opportunity with both hands tonight. Fantastic goal, and he's been involved in a lot of the good stuff that Scotland have had to offer.
Yeah, Ben Doak unlucky not to be involved. Of course, a smart decision on all parts to make sure he is in the best health after taking a head knock for Liverpool's under-19s. But as you say, it shows the quality that Scott Gemmell has at his disposal, that in that right wing position Diri Mabudi has come in and looked very comfortable in his Scotland under-21 debut. I think the word comfortable is doing him a disservice as well.
Yeah, I mean, watching a lot of the campaign last time, they lacked a number 9. They wanted to play a 4-3-3. However, the likes of Diri Mabudi's brother Dapo had to play as a lone striker, or it was Glenn Middleton.
Well, Nanazi looks for the opening, and that one comes off the Scotland bar. Farage can only direct the rebound wide, and Sweden causing a problem for Scotland just before the break.
Yeah, he just tried to feed it into that far corner with the instep. He just cuts inside. Yeah, you can see what he's trying to do there. A few inches lower, and that's in the back of the net. And Omar Farage following up, can't keep it on target. But going back to what I was saying, Kieran Bowie seems to be providing that, because a lot of the time they were asking somebody to do that job and it wasn't natural to them, and it meant that your midfield couldn't get in touch and you couldn't influence the game higher up the pitch. But Kieran Bowie's given them that so far.
Scher switches play, but Max Johnson cuts it out. Ben Summers to Fiorini. Chance for Scotland just before the break. Lewis Fiorini just trying to guide that one in the far corner. Didn't get enough curl on it though.
Yeah, he's trying to do something similar to his Swedish counterpart a minute ago, but he doesn't get any connection on the ball in terms of trying to whip it back. More unselfish running from Kieran Bowie. He wanted the ball, he took the man away, and Fiorini was trying to use the centre back as a block to try and skew the keeper's view, but the execution just wasn't there this time.
Noah Isla maybe just happy to see the first half out in what has been an entertaining game in Pinatar so far. It is 1-1 between Scotland and Sweden. Dire Mabudi with the opening goal for Scotland in the early stages of the game. It was just 9 minutes in. A real piece of quality from him. Sweden managing to level things up. A goal from a set piece, but Scott Gemmell will have seen some real positive signs from his players, Rory.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that, as I've touched on before, when you've got a new group of players, as Sweden will have as well, a new generation coming through, it's very, very difficult for them to communicate efficiently with each other when they don't know how each other play, they don't know each other's personalities. So to go and carry out what Scott Gemmell's asked them to do and be able to communicate and do that has been amazing, and the goal itself was great. They've had other opportunities in the box. The one thing that will frustrate Scott Gemmell is they switched off once and they've been punished.
Yeah, and these players, as you say, you know, 4 of them making their Scotland Under-21 debut. They have looked like a real team in this game though.
Yeah, they have, and you know, I mentioned it just on half time there. I think Kieran Bowie, although he's not retained the ball every time it's came up to him, he's managed to do enough. The likes of your Farinis, Hackneys, Babudis, Summers can get in touch with him, and the last campaign, as I said, that was lacking. He also is willing to run in behind as well. It gets the team up the pitch, and that means that they're actually able to have that press rather than a kind of lower block there. And it'll be interesting, like I said, to see how they go in the second half, whether they make a few subs or whether he sticks with it, because there's been a lot to be happy about from a Scott Gemmell and from the coach's perspective.
Yeah, lots of strong performances. We can actually see the goals again here. This one from Dire Mabudi, and he really caught that strike well at the edge of the box, just cutting in on that right foot. We've seen how dangerous he can be, and he showed it. But then a quick response from Sweden, the ball dropping in at the back post, and there was Hugo Larsson to tap in under Kieran Slicker. And Sweden have had another couple of chances, flashed one wide there. This one, Mikael Lado with a shot that was never troubling Kieran Slicker. Connor Barron trying to get on the score sheet himself. This one just wide of Noel Tornqvist's goal. But yeah, an entertaining half of football. It is 1-1 between Scotland's Under-21s and Sweden's Under-21s. Some strong individual performances from Scotland. One of those from Max Johnson, the Motherwell right back. The Scottish FA have been catching up with him with life in the national camp.
Max, thanks for joining us today, back in the Under-21 squad. Are you looking forward to getting back with the group?
Definitely, delighted to be involved again, and really looking forward to it.
When did you first get involved with Scotland?
It was Under-16s was my first appearance against Australia, and then I went away with the Under-19s to Hungary, and I'm involved with the 21s.
Has it always been quite a proud moment playing for your country? Definitely,
it's a huge honour, so I really enjoy it anytime I go away.
Do you think international football is different to club football? Have you noticed differences when you've played?
It's just new experiences playing against different types of players, European teams and stuff, so no, I really enjoy it.
With Under-21s, you got your first call up kind of like late notice. You were one of the last ones in the squad. Was that slightly nerve-wracking coming to training for the first time?
Not really, to be fair, I knew a few of the boys, so I was more just looking forward to it and looking forward to getting started with the team. What was the standard of training like? Clearly quite a lot of talented players in the squad. There was loads of really good players, so it was a really high standard, but no, I really enjoyed it. Do you think it helped for you having the first game at Fir Park? It's somewhere you know really well, maybe make you a bit more comfortable? It does help, obviously knowing the pitch and stuff, so it was a place like home to be fair. I've touched on your goal, obviously, linking up with Ben Doak. Talk us through it, do you remember it well? I just remember playing down the line, he does that one, he lets it run through his legs, and then he manages to cut it back to me. I've had it with my left and it goes in.
Your parents, were they watching that night? It must have been a proud moment for them.
Aye, definitely. There's actually a photo of them sitting in the stand, so I've got that saved on my phone.
Oh, nice one. You probably, for those who don't know, your dad, Alan Johnson, played for Scotland, manager as well. I'm sure you get sick of getting asked about him, but how big an influence were both your parents, but him in particular, on your career?
Aye, massive. Ever since I've been young, he's always been on at me, making sure I'm practicing and stuff, and even now he still watches my games every weekend and showing me what I can do better and stuff, so no, massive help.
And there was a brief period that you played under him, he was your manager.
Yeah.
How was that? Was that a bit strange?
I loved it, to be fair. It was brilliant. Obviously it was a bit difficult at times when we weren't winning every week and I wasn't playing as well, but I was really lucky, I think, to have experienced that, and I really enjoyed it.
You started this season at Cove on loan. How was that loan spell for you?
Brilliant. The manager, Jim McIntyre, was really good to me throughout my loan spell there, and I really enjoyed it. The boys were brilliant and we managed to get a good run of form as well, so no, I really enjoyed it.
I think with young players like yourself, it must be invaluable just to be playing week in, week out, especially against older, more experienced professionals.
100%. I think, obviously, the age I'm getting to now, I'm getting into men's football, so as much as men's football experience I can get, I think, for the better.
How did you notice the difference between that and playing academy football before that?
It's a massive difference. Obviously I was at Queen of the South the year before as well, and that was a big step up. That was my first year in men's football, and that was a big step up, but I feel as if I'm comfortable now.
Coming back to Motherwell, you came back at a time when the club was struggling at the bottom of the league. Was it a bit of pressure kind of coming in at that point?
To be honest, I just wanted to hit the ground running. I was delighted to be back, and I was really looking forward to hopefully getting my chance.
As someone who grew up coming through the ranks at Motherwell, is it a bit of a dream now to be playing week in, week out?
Definitely. Obviously when you sign when you're 12, you're thinking that's where you want to be eventually, and I've managed to get here, so I'm delighted.
And Motherwell have really picked up a run of form as well, and you scored your first goal in Stuart Kettlewell's first game. Talk me through that.
I know a lot of people are saying it's a cross, but it was definitely a shot, but I think it was Gossy. Gossy's played the ball in behind, I've took it down on my chest, and I've managed to find the back of the net.
We're back here today at the JD Performance School Trials. You were in this position not too long ago. What do you remember of that day?
I remember the nerves of turning up, to be fair. I remember my dad actually took me to the wrong school to start with. So we turned up to the wrong school, so that obviously hit my nerves a wee bit, but no, I really enjoyed the trials, and I just remember working my hardest and trying to impress.
You're still a young player obviously, but it must have felt quite nice coming back today as a professional player, and I suppose a lot of these kids would look up to players like yourself.
It was brilliant just to see all the kids enjoying their football and working hard.
What school was it you were at, and who was it you came through with?
I was at Braidhurst High School, and in my year it was me, it was Alex Lowry, Matthew Connolly, boys like that.
Do you still speak to them?
Yeah, I'm still at Motherwell with Matty Connolly, so I speak to him every day.
And see, just playing football every day, someone like myself who didn't play, that's obviously would have been the dream. Do you feel you saw yourself improve day in, day out?
100%. Obviously being lucky enough to get the opportunity to play football every day at school, that's what you want when you're that age, and feels as if it really did benefit me, and the extra sessions I used to do with Stevie Clark after school as well, that really did help me as well.
Just looking ahead to the Under-21s, Sweden and Wales, 2 tough games, 2 different tests?
Aye, 2 really hard games, but we've got a really strong squad, so hopefully we can get some results.
Well, welcome back to the Pinatar Arena in Spain, where Scotland are playing against Sweden's Under-21s. It is 1-1 at half-time. It was a goal from Dire Mabudi in the first half that gave Scotland the lead. A real moment of quality 9 minutes into the game. There was an equaliser for Sweden 5 minutes later, the ball dropping to Hugo Larsson at the back post, and he equalised. I'm Andrew McLean. Alongside me, former Scotland Youth International Rory Loy. And Rory, we've seen some real quality football so far in this game.
Yeah, we have, and we were discussing it at half time, weren't we, Andrew, that these games can almost sometimes be ruined, not just as a competitive edge, but also from an experimental side of things, from a manager's point of view. If you make too many changes now, they've got another game coming up on Saturday against Wales. I'm hoping that he stays with the same team up until 60-70 minutes and then only make a few changes and then, you know, pick a brand new side on Saturday and see how they do against Wales, because they've been really, really good. And I think you want to take momentum. It doesn't matter if it's a friendly. It doesn't matter that there's nothing riding on it. You know, you need to take momentum forward with good performances, good results, and that breeds good habits.
Yeah, you mentioned that this is only a friendly, as is the game against Wales at midday on Sunday, but there has been a real attacking intent from this Scotland team, playing at real pace when going forward.
Yeah, there has. They've been that good. I was thinking they were playing this Saturday and not Sunday. But no, there has. Look, all over the pitch as well. You can't look at one player and say that he's been poor. Both fullbacks have been good. Doig and Johnson going forward. Morrison and Mullen, other than the little mishap for the goal, that was a communication error, have been very, very good. Barron's been tenacious in midfield. Farini's shown good technical ability. Hackney's got up and down and he's been combative in there, as well as good quality. Mabudi's been special at times. Summers has worked hard, and Kieran Bowie's been a good outlet up front. And as a unit, as well as individually, they've carried out the game plan very, very well and frustrated Sweden for large portions of that half.
Yeah, well, Scott Gemmell's side just making their Swedish opposition wait here, but they are taking to the field now. We'll see if Scott Gemmell has decided to make any changes in this second half, but as you say, Rory, there will have been a lot of positive signs that he might not be too keen to tinker with things at the moment.
No, I'd be surprised if he makes changes now. I'm all for experimenting these games, trying things out so that you're best prepared come the real stuff in September, but I think you've got to give players in a certain setup, a certain team, and something you've worked on for the last few days, a right good goal before you start making changes. Because if Sweden do the same, make 4, 5, 6 changes early doors, Scotland do the same, it just kills all momentum for the game. But like I said, I think Scotland manager will be happier than Daniel Backstrom, the Swedish manager, at this moment in time.
Well, Omar Faraj, the one standing over the ball, getting us ready to go for this second half in Pinatar. It's Scotland 1, Sweden 1, and hopefully we'll get as much good football in the second half as we did in the first. Lado looking to create something early for Sweden. The AZ Alkmaar winger goes back to Hugo Larsson, the Sweden goal scorer. Johan Bangsbo to Noah Isla, his central defensive partner. Scotland just not allowing Sweden any peace at the start of this second half. And they go all the way back to Noel Tornqvist, who almost gives the ball away there. Kieran Bowie so close to getting his left foot on that. Sweden managed to come away with it. It's back in their possession again.
It's the age-old argument in the modern era, isn't it, Andrew? Whether you overplay at some point, you need to just get rid of the ball because they're taking a lot of chances, Sweden. And it's down to Scotland's good organisation. A little bit unlucky not to get his toe on the end of the ball there and win it back. I mean, look, there's Max Johnson right up the pitch there on the right back.
Lado being harried by Hayden Hackney, who gives away the foul. Lado just quick on the turn.
Really good feet, and if you are playing against a side that are going to pressure that vigorously, then you need to show composure and good ability on the ball, which Lado does there to win his side a free kick.
Lado goes back to Ayla. Farage now just unable to get the ball under control at the first attempt. Turns well, but he's under pressure. Jeremiah Mullen gets his foot in. Mabudi. Kieran Slicker decides to go long, which Scotland can do when they've got someone like Kieran Bowie up top. Just unable to get that one under control there, but we saw his physical presence in that first half. Lado to Casper Nielsen. Marcher just clipping the ball towards Casper Nielsen there. Josh Doig comes away with the ball and it's a foul there. Lewis Fiorini just taken out off the ball, tried to exchange passes with Hayden Hackney, and he was put to the ground.
Yeah, Fiorini showing the same composure that his counterpart showed just a moment ago to win a foul, very similar foul. Scotland showing they're able to pass it with the best of them.
Jeremiah Mullen making his first Scotland under-21 appearance at centre-back, playing his football at Leeds. Was actually on the bench for Leeds against Manchester United last month in the Premier League.
He's been impressive alongside Liam Morrison. I don't want to keep harping back to it. Obviously they'll need to analyse the goal, but out with that, they've looked very solid.
Fiorini goes towards Bowie, who does it well to get under control. First time ball in has a lot of height on it, but Sinazi wasn't able to deal with it. Hackney. Connor Barron. Really nice from Connor Barron. It's now Max Johnson.
It's not often you see a striker of Kieran Bowie's presence able to run so freely and into the channels.
Ben Summers has space. What can he do with it? Just took maybe a bit too much time on the ball there, Ben Summers.
I think he tried to nutmeg him actually, when he should have just shot.
Well, you talked about Kieran Bowie there. He can play up front, has played out on the wing as well for Northampton Town in his loan spell at Fulham this season, so he is versatile, the forward.
Well, he certainly looks unnatural at being a number 9 through the middle. Like I said, he can shift and pull centre backs in areas they don't want to go, as well as being able to hold the ball up.
Found a lot of success for Wraith Rovers in his early stages, Kieran Bowie. 10 goals and 39 appearances for them. That attracted the interest of Fulham, who lured him down south. Summers just trying to flick that one round the corner, but there was no Scotland players making the run.
They're asking Summers to do a lot of running, I must say. Closing the ball down. Those forward players, for me, will probably be the first to make way and get a deserved breather.
Farage to Lado. Gets away from Hayden Hackney. Josh Doig just in there quickly. Not only wins the ball, but actually wins a throw-in as well.
He's probably been the most impressive of the Swedes, I would say. Lado, he's good in midfield, he drives forward as well. He can win the ball back and then drive his team up the pitch. He's the one who stood out in yellow for me so far tonight.
Plays his football at AZ Alkmaar in the Netherlands. Has 2 goals in 2 appearances for Sweden's under-21s before this game. Scored against Denmark and Azerbaijan.
That's something we've got in common then. My only international goal, Azerbaijan away.
Can't say I've got any to my name. Fiorini. Does fantastically well. Fiorini just to come away with the ball in a tight situation. There's Max Johnston. First time ball across is actually dealt with really well by Otto Rosengren, sorry, who was making the run backwards. Nanazi, who did well to take the ball away from Conor Barron, who could only foul the attacker.
Yeah, it's not a pass, I think. He would have thanked you for it. It's a wonderful first touch, good vision and awareness. Barron fouls him.
Isla to Rosengren. Noah Persson. Cuts it back to Omar Faraj, who just couldn't get the ball under control, but does win it back off Hayden Hackney. Rosengren easily dealt with by Kieran Slicker. But just the sign of an opening for Sweden there. Noah Persson managing to get the ball across. It was just behind Omar Faraj.
Yeah, he managed to find a little yard of space there in the box, Omar Faraj, which has been few and far between for him, but his first touch let him down. A better one and he would have got a strike away, but Hackney was able to get back and stop him pulling the trigger.
Hugo Larsson. Persson. Didn't think he had the options in the middle, just decides to cut it back for Rosengren. Lado. If you give him space, he will run into it, Lado, and fancied the effort on goal. It is I think his second shot that he's had so far from that kind of distance.
Well, the first part was as good as the second part was bad, because he picks up a lovely position. Conor Barron isn't aware of where he is. Good touch, skips by Conor Barron, and then unleashes a wild shot over the bar.
It's really good from Josh Doig to not only take the ball down and get by his man, but to keep the attack going for Scotland. Fiorini. Hackney to Max Johnston. Here's Dire Mabudi. Johnston. Just too high for Kieran Bowie in the centre of the Sweden box.
Yeah, it's a shame no one was there. I don't actually think it was too bad a ball in terms of the area it was delivered into. Just no teammates there. But a good passage of play from Scotland. Patience, they realised they couldn't play the killer pass. They fed it, recycled it back out wide. Johnston put the ball into the box. Again, I'll echo what you said earlier, Andrew. I think Johnston and especially Doig have been outstanding so far tonight.
Nanazi. Rosengren, who was looking for the foul, but it will be a goal kick to Scotland.
Yeah, you summed that up perfectly, Andrew. Fantastic refereeing. He was on his way down before the anywhere near contact was made, so simulation, if you ask me.
Well, we have seen that ball out to the fullbacks work for Kieran Slicker earlier in the game. He's played it out to Josh Doig a couple of times. That one just overhit when looking for Max Johnston. Scotland just looking for that variety when playing out from the back. Nanazi. There's Conor Barron and Jeremiah Mullen and Hayden Hackney all combining to get the danger away. And once again, it's good play by Kieran Bowie, because he doesn't win the ball, but he's just causing problems in the Sweden defence.
Well, as a centre-back, you don't want the ball to bounce, and by the fact that he's got his body in front and he's backing in, it causes the ball to bounce, and then the covering centre-back sclaffs it out the pitch, so you're absolutely right. Doesn't touch the ball, Kieran Bowie. But as a result of what he does do, Scotland get a throw in high up the pitch.
Here he is again, Bowie just backing in. This time, maybe just a bit of frustration from him that time as he gave away a free kick.
Yeah, he's claiming that Bangsbo's hands are all over him. I don't think it is enough to award a foul. He just touches him, and like you say, Andrew, frustration. He pulls back, no person. Just seen a little clip of Steve McManus there. I don't know if they're potentially thinking about a change or two.
Yeah, it does look as if there may well be some changes afoot for Scotland. Players on the pitch have certainly done their job so far, and the ones on the bench will be looking to come on and make an impression. Rosengren, no person, cuts it back to Rosengren, and that one ends up in the back of the net. It was a good ball back from Persson towards Rosengren, who made the attacking run forward, and the ball just nestling past Kieran Slicker. Sweden have come from behind and are now 2-1 up.
Well, it all starts a few shots back. Lado again picks the ball up, does so well. And then Rosengren plays it out wide. In Persson lifts his head, composure, calmness, and Rosengren tucks it away. It's a shame from a Scottish point of view, because I don't think they deserve to be 2-1 down, but you have to say that's a fantastic goal, all led by, like I said, in my opinion, Sweden's best player, Lado.
Well, here will come the changes for Scotland. Kieran Bowie making his way to the touchline. And it will be Tom Dixon-Peters coming on, the Norwich forward who's currently on loan at Grimsby Town. Hayden Hackney also making way, and it will be Azim Abdullahi who comes on for him. That will be a like-for-like swap. He's a central defensive midfielder. Abdullahi plays his football at Swansea. But the two players coming off there, Hayden Hackney, Kieran Bowie. Two players will be happy with their performances in this game, Rory?
Yeah, you would say so. I mean, nobody likes to come off just as they've conceded a goal and they go 2-1 down. However, I think overall, Kieran Bowie's impressed. He's done well. And Hackney, for me as well, large periods of the game where he's performed well. So, a good run out for them.
Fiorini to Barron. Mullen. First involvement for Abdullahi. Summers, I think, was maybe just trying to leave that for Tom Dixon-Peters.
Yeah, he was, and the centre-back didn't realise that. I think it was Bangsbo, and Summers very nearly getting behind him.
Doig. Fiorini trying to get it back towards Josh Doig. Summers, and that will be a free kick to Scotland in a good position. Ben Summers just showing quick feet.
Yeah, it was good to see him get on the ball there. There's been a lot of running for it, not a lot of touches of the ball, shall we say, for Ben Summers. So it's good to see what he can do when he does get on the ball there. Good feet, good trickery. Sucks the Swedish player in and wins the free kick.
Plays his football at Celtic, Ben Summers. Actually, when he was younger, played a young Tommy Burns in a documentary.
There you go.
Fiorini's ball towards the back post. There was Jeremiah Mullen trying to get involved, and Connor Barron is kept in by Josh Doig, or he tried to anyway. Scotland do win the corner, taken quickly by Doig. Johnston's ball in, and the header just over the bar from Jeremiah Mullen.
Yeah, I thought Max Johnson's first touch, I didn't know if he was able to get the cross in, but he does magnificently well to dig it out. And Jeremiah Mullen will probably be disappointed actually. He gets good contact on it, it's a good run, attacks the ball aggressively, he just can't quite guide it on target. Scotland do have enough to get back into this game, there's no doubt about it. They just need to try and carve out a few more openings.
Yeah, once again that was just Scotland benefiting from wanting to play quick football. They got that corner in quickly. Josh Doig taking it, want to make the most of those opportunities when they've got the ball in attacking areas. Person who looks to have hurt himself there, but it will be a throw into Scotland. Ben Summers providing the pressure.
Yeah, I think he got a wee kick in the ankle. I don't think it was a foul though. I don't think it was quite as sore as he made out. Possibly a little bit frustrated that it was him that's put his team under pressure.
Abdullahi, who goes down after the challenge from Omar Faraj. He's had an interesting career so far, Azim Abdullahi, who was released by Celtic at the age of 16. Right around the time of lockdown, he was struggling to find a club, but Tom Dixon Peters here looking to make an impact. Yeah, I was just saying about Abdullahi, he was struggling to find a club because of lockdown and COVID, went on trials at the likes of Brentford and Wimbledon, got a 6-month deal at Leicester. He's now settled at Swansea.
Well, one thing that strikes you about him straight away is his frame. He looks very athletic, very strong, and he's certainly impressed on the ball so far. Obviously he's only had a few touches, but he's played a couple of raking passes which have come off for him and won a few fouls as well, so I think he started pretty well.
And these players coming off the bench will know that with big qualifiers against big sides, the likes of Spain and Belgium coming up, they'll want to make sure that they're in Scott Gemmell's thoughts for a place in the starting lineup.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. You know, they'll open against Spain, and everyone wants to be involved in a game like that. Like I said before, it'll draw a lot of attention. And then the home double header, which follows that against Hungary and Malta, those are types of games where you can go and make an impression. And the top end of the pitch, I appreciate they'll try and do that against Spain, but it'll be more difficult. So, you know, those 3 games, the latter 2, will be an opportunity to go and showcase your talents and what you can do. So they'll be desperate to have the jersey when these games come around.
Hugo Larsson. It was Abdullahi who applied the pressure and won the ball back for Scotland. It is fantastic feat by Lewis Fiorini once again. It's just really, really good from Lewis Fiorini, who continues forward. No idea how he managed to hold on to that ball there. He's won a free kick for Scotland, must have made it around 40-50 yards up the pitch on that touchline, taking the ball by about 4 or 5 Sweden players.
Well, I've seen a few things this week that Soccer AM's getting taken off there, but I tell you what, he would feature in the showboat most weeks. Watching him tonight, he was almost playing for nutmegs there. I think he got by a couple of them that way and then skipped by a third unbelievably and was pulled down. Really good to watch from Fiorini.
And you'd maybe have forgiven him for looking a bit rusty, Fiorini, just with the lack of club football he's played due to injury, but he hasn't looked that way whatsoever today. A real creative force for this Scotland under-21 side.
Yeah,
and he finds Tom Dixon Peters. It was good defending at the front post.
Yeah, he's been good. Fiorini, you know, he relies a lot on his technical abilities, and it can be a little bit rusty after a while out, but no, he's looked the part tonight. He's looked very, very good. As I've said before, he was part of the last campaign, so he'll be a big player for them when the qualifiers come round at the end of the year.
Another one of these Scotland under-21 players playing their football at Manchester City. He is on loan at Blackpool, but Manchester City, his parent club, as with Dire Mabudi and Kieran Slicker. And it will do wonders for these players, you know, playing in the academies of these top clubs. You see the standards that the likes of Manchester City will set.
Yeah, I mean, it would take me far too long to run through the names in the Manchester City squad that he'll be, well, I would like to think, getting the opportunity to train with every now and again. and if that doesn't make you a better player, nothing will. And he is the type of player that looks like he would fit in to a Manchester City just with his technical abilities.
Sweden are looking to make some changes themselves. I think they'll happen the next time the ball goes out of play, which it does for a Scotland goal kick.
Just while these subs are being made, Andrew, it was interesting when Scotland made their subs from Scott Gemmell's point of view that he didn't actually change formation or change the shape. It was like for like, so he obviously does have this type of shape in mind for the qualifiers. He'll probably try or possibly try a different shape against Wales on Sunday just to try and mix it up, see which one of the two he prefers. But you know, I think it's good management to stick with the same formation throughout the most of this game, so that he can get a grounding going forward.
Another change for Scotland as well. It will be Connor Barron making way. And on for Scotland it is Connor Smith, the Hearts man who's currently out on loan at Hamilton.
Slicker just needs to be careful with those. That's the second time in a row he's tried to find his fullback and shelled it out the pitch, and it just hands the momentum and upper hand back to Sweden when that happens.
One of those players coming on for Sweden when they made that triple change is one of the real big talents coming out of Sweden, Rooney Bargy, just 17 years old, but already playing regularly for FC Copenhagen. He's made Champions League appearances against the likes of Borussia Dortmund and Sevilla already this campaign.
17-year-old, that is, yeah, you must be a top prospect if that's the case, playing in the Champions League against these types of sides.
This week the publication Goal published a next-gen 50 best players in the world to look out for. Rooney Bargy was one of those, as was Ben Doak.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say too much on Rooney Bargy. I'm not going to pretend that I know a lot about him. However, looking at the facts, he's obviously a big prospect. But in terms of Ben Doak, I've seen him 3 times now live, seen him on the television. He's getting on the pitch, getting minutes for Liverpool when he's fit. I think he's a top talent, not just his ability, his game intelligence as well, and also he's got that little bit of hunger, that little bit between his teeth. He's not scared of anything.
Connor Smith's first involvement just slips, unable to hold on to the ball in the box. Josh Doig recovers. Abdullahi. Johnston's ball in is just too high.
Yeah, he gets caught underneath it. Smith, I think if he's running onto it, he stands a better chance, but Scotland working the ball into a good area again. Max Johnston's had a good few crosses in this half through good passages of play from Scotland, working the ball out to him.
Rosengren. Play will go on. The referee's already got his yellow card out as play continues. Bargy to Persson, back to Rooney Bargy, and it is a wonderful save from Kieran Slicker. The yellow card does come out for Azim Abdullahi for the foul earlier in the move, but let's not take away from that stop from Kieran Slicker.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be interested to see the tackle again, because I think he gets a big chunk of the ball, so it just depends on whether his stud was up, whether he lunged or not. But moving on to the next phase of play, Kieran Slicker, the reactions. I expected Barge to go across the goals, but he didn't. He went for the near post, and Slicker manages to change his body momentum and make a really wonderful save to get it behind the goals for a corner.
Confirmation there of the first booking of the game for Azim Abdullahi. Medical staff just making sure Otto Rosengren is okay. The Mialby central midfielder.
Yeah, like I said, I think Abdullahi does catch him. He also gets the ball. So it'll be interesting to see it again. Obviously, you can win the ball illegally these days, but I'm not sure whether they're going to see it again or not. But he certainly looks hurt. He's limping, which is a shame. We don't like to see it. Given that it's a friendly, I would be amazed if they took any chances.
There was an introduction earlier on as well for Connor Smith, coming on as Scotland's 4th substitute. He's making his 6th under-21 appearance, Connor Smith. Sebastian Nanasi to take this for Sweden. Connor Smith just having to shell that one out at the back post. Ben Summers it was, actually.
Yeah, I don't think he realised how much room and space he had, but the important thing is he gets rid of it. And they're going to need to defend another corner now.
Well, it's more experience that Sweden have brought on as well, because a couple of substitutes, Arman Gigovic, Yasin Ayari, 2 of them have also got senior caps for Sweden. Person's corner is headed away by Tom Dixon-Peters.
Pretty sure Gigovic is their captain at this level. Probably will be again when the competitive stuff comes around.
Kieran Slicker just having to make sure that one's going wide from Josh Doig's header.
Yeah, my first instinct is that Doig just trying to cushion it back into his goalie's arms. Yeah, that's exactly what he's trying to do, but he doesn't realise Slicker behind him is coming off his line, trying to claim it himself. A little bit of a mix-up, but they get away with it.
Sweden will hope to punish Scotland here as the ball goes to the back post. It's just too high for Omar Faraj, who was battling with Azim Abdullahi. See, the wind is starting to pick up in Pinatar as well.
Yeah, I think we need to find a way to get Mabudi back into the game. We've not mentioned him too much in this second half. I don't know whether after the start he had, the Swedes have managed to come up with a game plan to stop him, but you know, very exciting. Every time he gets on the ball, looks like he's going to make something happen.
Ayla to Kasper Nielsen. Nice switch of play towards Noah Persson. Here's Rosengren, who looks as if he's recovered from that challenge earlier on from Azim Abdullahi. Ayla to Yasin Ayari. A first touch for Arman Gigovic. Persson. Max Johnson does well to take the ball off him, and Diri Mabudi skips away from his man, keeps possession for Scotland. Liam Morrison just under pressure there, unable to find a Scotland shirt as he looked forward.
Yeah, they were under a little bit of pressure there, but credit to them. The last resort was to kick it up the pitch. Mabudi takes the ball under pressure and does well.
It will be a triple change for Sweden. It's actually going to be a quadruple change for Sweden. Mendes the first to come on. Svensson, Ondrejka and Volkerling Persson also coming on. And that's what these friendly matches are all about, just giving players the game time, letting them get out there, test themselves at this level.
So is that us got 2 persons on the pitch now, or 2 people?
There are indeed. Noah Persson at left back for Sweden, and also Volkerling Persson, who has now moved up front. He'll move in for Omar Faraj, the captain, who's made way. The strike from distance is just wide of Kieran Slicker's goal. It was Ondrejka, his first involvement of the game, Jakob Ondrejka.
Well, he fakes to put it in the far corner as if he's going to whip it, and then he just puts his laces through it and tries to find the near post. To be fair, I think Kieran Slicker had read it and would have gotten there had it been on target. Looks like a fantastic little setup out there as well. The stadium, the pitch.
It's a great touch from Tom Dixon-Peters into the path of Mabudi, who is maybe struggling to decide on the right option as Scotland made their way forward. And the strike from distance is another good save by Kieran Slicker. This time low to his left. Good deny, Svensson.
Good strong hands. Pushes it out away from goal. It's a good strike. Tell you what, the Swedish substitutes have hit the ground running. You can see what he's going to do. He's lining up, he's looking for that far corner. He's not a million miles away from it. But Slicker's equal to it.
Abdullahi. Scotland looking for a way back into this match. Fiorini. Max Johnson. Mullen to Fiorini. Clips it over the top towards Tom Dixon-Peters, who just strayed offside. As Scotland look to make another change, Scott Gemmell deciding now is the right time to do so.
Just a little bit eager there, Dixon-Peters.
Adam Devine will come on at right back for Max Johnson. Josh Adam as well, coming on for Dire Mabudi, so it's one Manchester City player for another. Josh Adam making his under-21 debut. And the last substitute, number 17, is Cole McKinnon. Ben Summers' first under-21 appearance comes to an end. But it does show the depth of this Scotland under-21 squad that Max Johnson comes off. He's been playing regular football for Motherwell this season. Adam Devine comes on, who's played plenty of football for Rangers this season.
He has, and impressed on the left-hand side of the defence. At left-back he was very, very good, you have to say. And it's probably shown up that he can play either side if needed, whether it be at Scotland under-21 level or for Rangers. But Max Johnson, you would imagine, given he's playing week in, week out and getting rave reviews, he would be in pole position at this moment in time, because I don't see Devine dislodging James Tavernier anytime soon.
Svensson goes with the outside of his boot, finds his target.
For the likes of Cole McKinnon, it just shows what a loan spell can do. I know he doesn't play every week at Partick Thistle, but he's played a lot more football than he would have played if he'd stayed at Rangers, and it gets him involved in the international setup at 21s level. Opens another door for him.
Liam Morrison with a header away. Yassin Ayari. Ayla. Yeah, you mentioned Cole McKinnon there. He was Rangers B Team's Player of the Year last season. Now made the step up to be playing football in the Scottish Championship. He's made 27 appearances for Partick Thistle this season. 3 goals to his name as well. Dixon Peters. Josh Adam. Ball just stolen off him by Gigovic.
That was a very good tackle.
Abdullahi back to Jeremiah Mullen. Connor Smith to Josh Doig. Can he deliver? He does towards Tom Dixon Peters. It looked as if he was going to get a shot away, but it was actually well defended in the end.
I thought he'd been up too early, but he hangs in the air so long and so well. But the Swedish defenders managed to get it clear. I think Scotland have been really, really good tonight, showing some really positive play, both defensively and offensively. The one question I would ask is, can they work the keeper a little bit more? Are they overplaying slightly at times? Because for all their good play and good possession, the keeper's not had an awful lot to do. Great little turn around the corner there from Farini, wins a free kick.
Well, this is the first of a double header for Scotland Under-21s in Pinatar. Sweden this evening, and it is Wales Scotland take on at midday on Sunday. You can watch that across the Scotland national team channels as well. Joe Mendes, one of the many Sweden substitutes that's come onto the pitch. Rooney Bargy to Svensson. Really good feet by Bargy. But Fiorini back doing the dirty work as well. Doesn't mind doing both sides of the game. Svensson to Bangsbutt. Well, here's Joe Mendes, the Braga right back. That's a good ball inside. Here's Rooney Bargy. And we did say, look out for Rooney Bargy. He is one of the emerging talents, not only in Swedish football, but in European football as well. The 17-year-old gets his first Sweden Under-21 goal. He's already got 5 goals in 33 appearances for FC Copenhagen.
Wow, what a finish. That is clinical, to say the least, with the left foot. The diagonal pass from the left centre-back all the way across the pitch. It was pinpoint. I don't think Josh Doig's positioning was all that bad. It was just such a good pass. And Mendes takes it down, finds his teammate, and my goodness, does Barge finish that with aplomb, right in the bottom corner. Slicker, no chance. I don't think it's been a 3-1 game, but that is extremely clinical from Barge in Sweden.
Well, it is just a show of the strength of this Sweden side. A 17-year-old who's already played Champions League football this season against the likes of Borussia Dortmund and Sevilla.
Some players have that aura about them. As soon as you took that touch, I don't think there was any doubt where the ball was going. Straight in the back of the net.
Certainly an exciting talent for Sweden. Plenty of those in this Scotland side as well. Abdullahi. Adam Devine to take. Hasn't made a Champions League appearance like Ronnie Bargy, but was on the bench for all 6 of Rangers Champions League group stage matches this season.
Abdullahi was hard done by there. He was fouled and wasn't given, and then the foul goes against him.
Well, it was a real bright start for Scotland in this game. Dire Mabudi opening the scoring in the first 10 minutes of the match. Sweden have been clinical when they've had their chances though. Ronnie Bargy showing that a few moments ago. Sweden notched their 3rd of the game.
It is very difficult to press at that tempo for 90 minutes. You do need to be able to bring people off the bench to try and freshen it up, which they've been able to do. It's just a shame that it's going to end with what looks like a Swedish win, because I think Scotland have done enough to probably not win the game, but certainly get a draw out of it.
Yeah, lots for Scott Gemmell to be positive about in the first of these 2 friendly matches in this camp. And he will just be happy to have this squad together for a lengthy period of time, a good few days training, and a good environment as well. The players will learn a lot from this.
Yeah, and team bonding's important. You know, at the top level, Steve Clarke consistently picks the same players when he can, unless somebody's performing exceptionally well out with the squad he likes and the group he likes to go with, because he likes to create a club environment. So trips away like this is great for team bonding and team spirit and building up that unity.
Svensson. It's just deflected out for a Sweden corner. And a 4th would be really harsh on this Scotland side.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, like I said, I don't think I could argue too much if the Swedes had walked away with a 2-1 victory, but 3-1 I don't think is a fair reflection on the game. 4-1 certainly wouldn't be.
Kieran Slicker out to punch that one. And Adam Devine just trying to set away Connor Smith. It's Ayari with the strike this time. Will be a goal kick to Scotland. Who would you say your player of the match has been for Scotland in this one, Rory?
It's a difficult one. I think Fiorini in flashes has shown good technical ability and got us on the edge of our seats a few times. Mabudi's goal was fantastic. Hackney impressed me for the time he was on the pitch, but I think overall I think Josh Doig has probably been the best performer. He's defended well, he's got forward well at times, he's never looked phased, and I would say that the player of the match from my perspective would probably be the captain, Josh Doig.
Fiorini goes down. It will be a late free kick to Scotland. Armin Gigovic committing the foul. Scotland not wanting to hang about. Devine. Smith. Trying to angle that one in towards Tom Dixon Peters, and the strike goes behind, and Scotland will have a chance from a corner with 2 minutes added on in this match. We are already halfway through that.
Yeah, as soon as that comes out to Doig, his eyes would have lit up. It's perfect for a left back. Cutting in from there, the ball comes out to you. Try and smack it in the far corner, but it's blocked and out for a corner. Try to decide he's going to take it.
Yeah, the ball just stationed at the wrong side. The referee wanting to make sure it's taken from over at that far corner. Josh Adam will head over and take it. One of quite a few players who are making their Scotland Under-21 debut in this match. Stands it up towards Lewis Fiorini, who'll hit it first time! And that is a fantastic strike from Lewis Fiorini. A really good way for Scotland to finish off this game, because 3-1 looked like a harsh scoreline, and it was Lewis Fiorini who had the time with the ball dropping to him. Put a brilliant strike into that bottom corner.
Yeah, I mean, I've touched on his technical abilities. I mean, that's not easy to do. It's a sidewinder. It's high in the air. You know, had that happened 3-4 minutes earlier, probably would have said to say he was player of the match, because I just felt that as much as he was good technically, probably could have done more to impact the game in terms of clear-cut chances. But my goodness, that is top draw from Fiorini, who looks a special talent.
Yeah, well, it proved to be the final contribution from any player in this game. The full-time whistle has sounded in Pinatar. Scotland under-21s 2, Sweden under-21s 3. But those two goals, two real moments of quality from Scotland at the start of the match. The first one from Dire Mabudi, and then towards the end there from Lewis Fiorini.
Yeah, 2 moments of individual brilliance. Mabudi, first of all, takes a really difficult ball from Fiorini himself, kills it dead, turns, swivels past the defender and fires it hard past the goalkeeper into the corner. And Fiorini, it's obviously been worked on. You know, we touched on the different, different things that we're trying from corners and set pieces, Scotland, and that one paid dividends. They piled everyone in the box, created the distraction, played it right to the edge of the box. Fiorini steps up, catches it perfectly, the timing of it, the technique, the swivel of the hip, and finds the keeper actually does well to get a hand on it, but he can't keep it out. It's hit that well. An outstanding goal from Fiorini.
The 20-year-old grabbing his second Scotland under-21 goal in his 6th appearance. The man on loan at Blackpool from Manchester City. And a good way for Scotland to end this game, and they'll take confidence from that heading into Sunday's clash with Wales.
Yeah, confidence and momentum. Without repeating ourselves, I think that Scott Gemmell's got a lot to be positive about. I think they executed the game plan really, really well in the first half. I think they tired slightly in the second, and then the substitutes, so many of them, disrupt the game slightly, disrupt the flow of the game. Sweden making so many as well. But the Swedish substitutes made a good impact, as we see Mabudi's goal again.
Yeah, just 9 minutes into the game, Dire Mabudi cutting inside it, unleashing a fantastic strike. It put Scotland ahead, but Sweden were soon level. This one going in from Hugo Larsson at the back post. Sweden wasting a couple of chances in the first half. This one way over the bar from Lado. They did continue to push in that first half, Sweden, after they got level. Scotland, though, with some good moments themselves. This one from Conor Barron just wide of the mark. And into the second half, where Sweden, you've got to say they were clinical when they got some clear-cut opportunities. This, the goal that put them ahead, Rosengren, a nice bit of attacking play between him and Noah Persson. This was Max Johnson's ball into the box, just headed over by Jeremiah Mullen. Kieran Slicker having to palm that one away from Josh Doig. Good stop that time by Kieran Slicker. But it was all action this game, and that from Rooney Bargy was a real moment of quality from the 17-year-old. One of the shining lights of Swedish football. And speaking of moments of quality, that from Lewis Fiorini to see the game out. A fantastic effort from him, and a fantastic effort from these Scotland under-21 players who put in a really good shift against this Sweden under-21 side. As I said earlier, many of these Sweden players have been capped at senior level as well, so a fantastic opportunity for these Scotland players to test themselves against a good level of opposition, and they'll do so again on Sunday, where they come up against the Welsh under-21 side at midday. You can catch that game on the Scotland national team channels as well. I hope you can join us for that, but thank you very much for joining us for this one. Rory Loy alongside me. Thank you to you. I've been Andrew McLean, and I'll see you again hopefully on Sunday.